Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, and we're going to be focusing our conversation today on the auto sales numbers that have come in, and our focus currently is on Mahindra and Mahindra. The overall performance indicates that the total auto sales have come in at 97,177 units. That's including the exports as well. That indicates a year-on-year growth of 18% compared to February of 2025. And of course, we've seen several segments and a growth across the board as well. Let me now introduce to you our guest on the show. We are joined by Mr. Nalinikanth Gollagunta, the CEO of Automotive Division of Mahindra and Mahindra and the Executive Director of Mahindra Electric Automobiles, to share with us what really led to this growth. Of course, this is higher than the expectation that we have got, sir. Good morning to you and good to have you with us. Give us an understanding of what really led to this growth. Were you expecting it, and will this continue?
Of course. Firstly, thank you for having me on the show, Sakshi. Pleasure to be here as well. Strong month, February, if you look at it. Overall, SUVs, we did about 60,000 in domestic volumes, and that gives us a growth of about 19%. And we now have the industry numbers as well. So compared to the industry growth of SUVs of 18%, we outpaced that. I think what's more heartening for us as well is the Vahan numbers, which is actual customer retails, if you look at it in February. That grew by more than 21%. So that gives us the confidence that the strong customer traction at the end, customer traction is quite good. Largely driven by the strength of the portfolio. If you look at it, we had two major launches, which we had. In Jan, we had the 7XO come in, and then 9S we launched in November, but also started retailing in Jan. So between both of these products put together, we've had very strong customer reception. So that's driving this as well. But beyond these two new launches, we have had good kind of traction on Scorpio N, on the Thar family as well, and even from the Bolero family with the facelift. So I would say across the board, strong momentum so far. And from what we see, March would be a strong month. There's some festive days coming in, and there's a few wedding days as well. So we look forward to a very strong March as well.
Fantastic. So give us an understanding of, what growth are you seeing in inquiries and bookings, especially for some of these new models that you indicated, especially the 7XO at this point in time?
Yeah, so both 7XO and 9S, when we launched within their first day, we got about 93,000 bookings as well. So we are now in the process of addressing that demand. But beyond it, we look very closely at daily walk-ins. So if you see from a daily walk-ins perspective, our daily walk-ins in 7XO is significantly higher than what we had on 700, which is a product it replaced. And even on 9S, if you look at it, the walk-ins is as strong as what 9E and BE6 was when we started the product as well at that point in time. So 9S is going very strong walk-ins as well. The good news for us is we have customers walking in who want a 7-seater, and they have a choice between going electric or staying with a tested platform, which is our 7XO as well. So there's a customer choice, and some folks are choosing to stay with the 7XO. The few guys make the transition to go for 9S as well.
Right. On the Scorpio part, how is the demand split between rural and urban markets, if you could highlight?
Yeah, so both markets are doing well. As you know that at some point in time, urban was outpacing rural demand. But over the past couple of quarters, we have seen strong rural demand as well. A lot of that get expressed in classic bookings, Scorpio classic bookings to that extent. But Scorpio N was also doing well in the smaller towns. And so overall, if you see across the portfolio, we'd say both urban and rural are doing well for us, for both portfolios.
Okay. Fantastic. When we also talk about the EV specifically, how are you looking at the momentum specifically to the BE6 at this point in time, 9XO models as well? How are you really looking at the EVs part?
Yeah. So EVs have done very well for us. With 9S coming in, it adds one additional dimension to the sales story. For the first time in February, we crossed 6,000. We did about 6,500 billing. So it's the highest number we've had on EVs. Of course, thanks to 9S. But across the portfolio, if you look at it, even 9E has a very strong, loyal portfolio. Folks who like the design of the vehicle, who like the presence of the vehicle, is very distinctive in the way it carries itself on the road. So that's attracted a lot of customers. And we've just launched a new Cinelex variant there, adding to the design quotient as well on that. It has a very nice satin finish, very strong, lush interiors as well. So we're hoping that adds to the attractiveness of the 9E. And BE6, as you know, is a very, very distinctive presence on the road. So that continues to have very strong momentum in some of the metro markets.
Okay. In fact, I was going to be coming to this refreshed launch there, and also to ask you, how's the launch pipeline looking like going forward from here? And what's the demand scenario you're looking at for these newer models?
Yeah, so when we started the year, we had about 5,000 of capacity, and we were utilizing about 80% of that. About 4,000 we were doing. With the new launch coming in, we're taking that capacity up to 8,000. And we are hoping that we'll have similar kind of utilization levels as well, could be higher from where we are. So you're looking at a 7,000 number or so out of the 8,000 capacity to be utilized.
So any impact of the recent price hike that you had taken at all?
Not really. I think, like I said, we are very careful in when we have price hikes and where we do it. So we were careful in transmitting only the parts where we actually had commodity cost increases. So far, we haven't seen an impact from an overall demand perspective.
Okay. So on exports, if you could help us understand, we've seen an 11% increase year on year as well. Year-to-date exports also 21% up, now reaching 37,000 units odd for the fiscal year. What exactly is your outlook going forward? We are in increasingly uncertain times at this point in time. Every day, we are hearing about the wars. I mean, from last 3-4 years, we've been constantly hearing of various countries going to war. So how is that really changing the export scenario?
Yeah. So our primary markets is South Africa and Australia, where we have had fairly stable growth and traction. And anytime we've had a new product come in India, within about 2 to 3 quarters, we launch these products in those markets as well. So 3XO has done very well for us. 700 has been doing well. So over a period of time, we will take 7XO into these markets, and we are hoping for good traction from that as well. And we are now focused on seeing how the BEVs can be taken globally. As you know, these are global products on global platforms. And we are hoping that within the next 4 to 5 quarters, we'll be starting to take this into these developed markets as well. And we expect to have strong traction on the BEV portfolio as well.
Okay. Any key positives that you're already penciling in or looking at with the trade deals that we have set in place in the last month or so with the US, with the EU, and of course with the UK in the offing? A large focus on bilateral trade deals now taking place. How is that really going to be penciled in your expectations of growth in such areas then?
Yeah, so the FTAs are a huge boost for the Indian industry, but from an auto industry, it's early days at this point in time. It takes time to enter these markets, and we are deliberate about how we go, where we go. So it will take time, early days, but we're very optimistic about the deals both for Europe and UK. And over a period of time, we're optimistic that it should help us drive more growth.
Right. On the commercial vehicles also, sir, if you could highlight for us, we've seen a 12% growth in the 2 to 3.5 tons LCV segment, but under 2 tons is seen slight decline there. What's the expectation largely?
So overall, I think the CV segment has gone into a replacement cycle, and new demand is coming up as well. So we're actually quite optimistic on the overall segment. Within the different weight classes, sometimes it depends on how the market moves and where the stocks are. So I wouldn't take 1 month at face value at this point in time. But traction across the portfolio has been very strong. And if you see our Vahan numbers as well, they are north of mid-20s. If I'm not mistaken, about 25-26% of Vahan growth. So very strong customer traction. And we see that this will continue for a period of time from where we are. So we are quite optimistic about that segment as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Business Today Television. Always a pleasure to have you with us, and all the very best for the upcoming months as well in terms of sales. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, and happy Holi for you.
Thank you, and happy Holi to you as well, sir.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.